Hey, welcome back to Midas Letter Live. My guest this segment is Tim Froude. He's the CEO of Sokoman
Yes, correct.
Iron Corp, trading on the TSX Venture under the symbol SIC. Tim, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me, James.
Tim, it's very seldom I get to talk to a gold exploration company that has increased in share price by 250% since a week. So tell me, how did you accomplish that?
Well, it was a very good drill hole.
Okay.
We drilled just in the recent couple of weeks, and obviously, yes, the market has responded quite favorably. A very high-grade hole on a gold project out in eastern Canada, actually in Newfoundland.
Okay.
And,
what exactly was the intercept that got everybody so excited?
11.9 meters of 44.96 grams per ton.
Wow,
so,
that is
and I'm told that that's an impressive drill hole.
That sure is. Starting at what depth?
109 meters down the hole, or at a vertical depth of 80 meters below surface.
Okay. And so tell me more about the project. It's called the Moosehead Gold Project. Where exactly is it, and what is the sort of geological setting?
Okay, perfect. It's located in north central Newfoundland. Actually, the project is across the Trans-Canada Highway, goes right through it. So, and there's a series of old logging roads that allow access to the central part. It's 100 claims, so it's about 25 square kilometers in area. And it's a high-grade gold project that has had some work in the past, and it's in a setting that's similar to about 150 kilometers along trend from us to the southwest. There's a project called Marathon Gold. They have the Valentine Lake project,
Sure.
which is a multi-million, 3 million ounces and growing resource that certainly bolstered attention for the region, but certainly our drill hole is it needs to be furthered. Obviously, we've got work to do now, and we still have a bunch of holes, 12 to be exact, that are outstanding in the lab, and we'll have those results within 30 days, and I expect to be back on the ground drilling again before October.
Okay. So. What led you to this particular sort of site, this drill location where it was? Was there historical exploration results?
Yes, in fact there was. In fact, I was targeting a little deeper down the hole, an intercept reported by Altius Minerals. They were the owners of the property. In 2003, they reported an intercept of 278 grams per ton over just about half a meter at a vertical depth of 200 meters. And wasn't really followed up on. The project kind of sat dormant for a number of years. The project was in joint venture with a major, and things just kind of got stagnant there. So it wasn't really followed up on. And I had my eye on this project for some time, and we were able to come to terms with Altius, who are now our largest, one of our largest shareholders, probably the largest.
Okay.
And we optioned the property from them. In fact, we took possession in March. So we've been compiling the data and putting things together, and so that led to having to make a decision as to, well, where do we start with this project? So it was the highest, one of the highest grade intercepts on the project, the 278 grams, and I wanted to test that up dip. So we positioned the hole to intersect that zone where we thought we would get it about 50 meters vertically from where they got it, but we intersected much shallower further back the hole, the high grade. In fact, we hit two zones of grade in that hole. The one that obviously made all the news, plus a deeper intercept of about 9 meters, grading 4 grams, 4.2 grams, but within that, a higher grade plumb of 1.5 meters of just about 20 grams, I think. So we hit multiple vein structures above where we suspected we were going to get the intercept. So it came as a bit of a surprise, obviously. Sure. And certainly an area that had previously not seen any drilling, really, to speak, other than the holes that Altius had drilled initially.
So the suggestion would be that there's a great big feeder structure somewhere close by.
Well, we'd like to think so. I mean, big gold deposits certainly need big structures.
Yep.
And the structure we hit in the hole actually was over 80 meters of thickness in the drill hole. So, it's a significant structure. And until we get our heads around it a little better, we're obviously going to have to do some drilling, either side of it and probably above it and below it to get the true geometry of the thing. But that's certainly we intend to address and focus with our next phase.
Wow. Okay, so let's talk a bit about the share structure. How much capital have you raised to date? How many shares are outstanding? Who are the biggest shareholders?
Our treasury currently sits at about 4 million. We had, before the financing with Eric Sprott and Associates was announced, we had about $500,000 in the bank. So we brought in about $3.5 million in capital new raise.
Okay.
But we're also seeing the start of warrant exercise. We have a number of warrants in excess of 20 million. The number could be a little different,
Sure.
but that could bring us in another $1 million overall at prices between 5 and 7 cents. So, at the end of the day, we could have a treasury in and around the $5 million mark.
So you've got more than enough to finish drilling this season.
Well, yeah, I mean, I had budgeted a 2,000 meter program for phase 2
Wow.
at a cost of about $250,000. But now it looks like I'll be able to increase that program substantially. And,
Yeah, sure.
And trust me, that is
If everybody wants you to.
that is in the works, right?
Right. Fantastic. So regionally, what other sort of gold mines are there around there? What other mineral deposits? What's the history of the area generally mining-wise?
Well, it has a history going back about 30 years.
Okay.
Mineralization was first discovered there by prospectors working for Noranda back in the late 80s, a major Canadian firm that's no longer with us. And the property basically just passed from hand to hand until about 1994 when Altius picked up the ground, and they were able to attract partners. They're a very successful company and have done that for many years. And they drilled over a period of 20 years about 110 drill holes. So there had been some work done, but no one had really sort of put it all together and figured out what it is they have there. So now that task falls to Sokoman and my team. So in terms of properties that are close by, like I mentioned, Marathon, a 3 million ounce gold deposit and growing just on the same structure, about 150 kilometers to the southwest.
Okay, great.
But the immediate area itself has no real history of mineral production.
Okay.
The closest mine would be, or former mine would be, an antimony producer from 10 or 15 years ago.
Interesting. So I'm guessing the 110 holes that Altius drilled were not in the zone where you found these discoveries.
Well, they're in the same sort of structural package of rocks.
Okay.
And I think that's the key here, is that we have to figure out the structure. In hole 1, we drilled 15 holes in our program. We just finished, by the way, and we're still waiting for assays for 12 of them, in case I didn't say that earlier. And like I mentioned, we were targeting an intercept with the first hole
Right.
that they had reported from 2003, a high-grade intercept at a 200-meter depth. We were hoping to hit it at about 150 meters depth, but we intersected 2 zones of significant gold mineralization significantly uphole from that. So we feel that these are probably different structures that were previously unmapped.
Okay.
And it's in an area with no outcrop, so it's you really only have your drill holes to fall back on in terms of geology.
In the other 12 or 15 holes at the lab still, was there visible gold observed by the drillers at all?
Well, I can tell you we've reported 3 holes. So the hole, our first hole obviously was the big hole. We have those results, and this is all public. In fact, the press release is on our website with a map.
Okay.
So we stepped back from that area to complete the program we had laid out initially, because we kind of wanted to stick to the plan sort of thing rather than just attack this thing without having a lot of good science behind it,
Right.
which is coming. So the remaining holes are all from what's called the Western Trend, and it's about 250 meters to the west of where the first hole was, the big hole. And we expect to have those results in 2 to 3 weeks, all of them, and we'll put out a full press release on those results. And the basis for phase 2 will largely incorporate that. So I have an idea of how large our next program is going to be, but I don't really know where it's going to be yet in terms of the full program. Obviously, a fair component of it will be directed towards the intercept in hole 1, right? I mean, that's priority for us right now.
So lots of news coming yet this summer.
Yes, there will be, and we expect to have 2 drills on the project for our next round, and upwards of, I can certainly guess 10,000 meters, at a minimum. As you can appreciate, it's only been a week, so we haven't had a chance, and without all the results, to formulate a definite plan. But certainly the Treasury will allow us to have a very, very robust program moving forward.
Well, fantastic, Tim. Sounds like you guys are making great headway. We will follow with interest. Have you back when you release some more results. Thanks for joining me today.
Love to be back. Thanks, James.